Hello everybody, I'm Rene Ramos, director of the Lynn and Lewis Wolfson II Florida Moving Image Archives, and this is Rewind, the show that looks back on Florida's past with historic film and video. It's time for another trip back into the past, so sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Rewind.
This is Miami, a hub of international commerce and tourism, a world-famous sun and fun playground, a rapidly growing dynamic metropolitan area. Its year-round sunshine combines with perfect proportions of land and water to attract visitors from all over the world. So much of Miami's lifestyle is tied to the water, there's something for everyone, from sunbathing and beachcombing to fishing, to sailing and boating, to hot action water sports. There's also another kind of action, thoroughbred racing year-round at one of 3 South Florida tracks. Not to mention the matinee and evening greyhound races at several area kennel clubs. Highlight, originating in the Basque regions of Spain, pits the player's skills against a rock-hard ball traveling at more than 150 miles an hour. Then there's Miami's famous nightlife, much of it with a distinctly Latin American influence. And there's an abundance of fine dining places, many featuring tropical delicacies and seafood specialties. Miami has always been a favorite place for bargain hunters, but now its rapidly growing garment and fashion industry brings visitors from all over the Americas to take advantage of the wide selection and discount prices. Hotel accommodations are first-rate and abundant. Some of the newer facilities offer not only traditional hotel services, but also restaurants, shopping malls, and amusement centers, all under one roof. And then, there are Miami's world-famous commercial attractions, such as the Seaquarium, with its unusual sea creatures and breathtaking shows. Planet Ocean's fascinating exhibits and presentations are a unique blend of entertainment and information. Vizcaya is an elegant Italian-style palace on the shores of Biscayne Bay. The Parrot Jungle offers an array of unusual exotic birds, as well as 6 daily performances by the resident company of feathered show stars. The Monkey Jungle is highly acclaimed for its collection of primate animals, including some rare and endangered species. The Serpentarium is not only an exciting entertainment attraction, but also a world-renowned reptile research facility. Yes, this is Miami, the vacation and recreation center which everyone knows. But now there's something new under the Miami sun. Vacation cruises. That's right, Miami has become the vacation cruise capital of the world. The ultra-modern Port of Miami is home base to a large fleet of luxury cruise ships, with an unsurpassed record of more than 1 million passengers in a single year. The cruise port can handle up to 8 ships simultaneously. Ships which offer a wide assortment of cruises to suit every taste and pocketbook. Cruises lasting from 3 days to 2 weeks or more. Cruises to such ports of call as Jamaica, Haiti, the Bahamas, Cozumel, Trinidad, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Curacao, Barbados, Martinique, Mexico, Venezuela. The port is located within walking distance of downtown, and it's easily accessible from the airport or the Amtrak terminal by most forms of ground transportation. taxis, limousines, buses, rental automobiles, or you can drive your own car and leave it worry-free in one of the nominal cost security parking lots just a few steps from the terminal entrance. Your luggage is swiftly moved from curb to ship while passengers check in at the terminal. Although the cruise ships visit foreign ports, U.S. and Canadian passengers need no passports or special documents. A driver's license or voter's registration card will do. At the check-in counter, passengers are issued landing cards and offered a choice of the ship's meal sittings. The range of fare prices on a cruise indicates the class of room accommodations, from economy to luxury. All are clean and comfortable. Regardless of which class of accommodations they occupy, all passengers are equally entitled, at no extra cost, to the full complement of the ship's services and facilities. There's air conditioning and comfort control throughout the ship, valet services, medical facilities, babysitting and childcare, ship-to-shore communications, grooming and health facilities, and a bargain-filled duty-free store. Every cruise ship carries a complete staff of gourmet chefs and food preparation specialists who turn each cruise into a culinary adventure. There are 2 sittings for each of the daily meals: a hearty breakfast, a lunch that's a delightful trip through gourmet galley, and dinner. Dinner is a treasure trove of Epicurean elegance. In a word, delicious. The best continental cuisine accented with tropical island specialties. Of course, after a fun-filled day, nothing can compare with the sumptuous midnight buffet. It's a taste treat that will satisfy even the most prodigious appetites. The main reason for being on a cruise is to have a good time. On board ship, there are so many ways to spend that time. You can just sit back and enjoy the talented performers and exciting nightlife acts offered in the many different floor shows. Or socialize in one of the ship's lounges. Or go dancing, soft and slow or fast and furious, right into the wee hours of the morning. There are movie theaters, reading rooms. There are game rooms for card playing and table games. There are exercise classes to improve physical fitness. And there is plenty of deck space for just lying around in the sun to work on that perfect tan. You can literally get into the swim of things with the splash and sparkle of the ship's pool. But for those interested in more active pursuits, most of the ships offer another kind of action. There's horse racing with some of the strangest thoroughbreds found anywhere. Bingo for everyone. Slot machines always offer passengers a chance to hit the jackpot. And, of course, there are the other traditional forms of casino action. When your ship arrives at one of its exotic ports of call, there's always a wide variety of shoreside excursions and guided tours available. No matter what your tastes or interests are, a Caribbean cruise has something to offer you. Most of all, it offers good times, an adventure to be remembered, meeting new friends, getting reacquainted with the old ones. All too soon, it's time for the ship to head for home. Although the cruise may be coming to an end, you can look forward to the promise of the Miami skyline to welcome you back. The Port of Miami, then, is not only the cruise capital of the world, but also a major vital link in the maritime commerce of the Western Hemisphere. It is also part of the reason why South Florida is growing and developing into one of the most dynamic metropolitan areas anywhere.
Dragged yourself out of bed on a thoroughly dreary morning. You look out of the window and all you see is gray. You're driving to work and through the haze you can barely make out a dull red globe staring down on you as if it were a dying star shining its last on a dying planet. Well, don't give up hope, my friend, for old Sol lives. He's come south. Not quite ready to retire yet, our closest star has come to work and play in Miami. Now, here he shines down upon our cozy roofs, lights our days, and inspires our nights. The sun is alive and living in Miami. For setting up shop in Miami. He takes great delight in the wide variety of sports that are enjoyed by player and spectator alike in this lush semi-tropical setting. And we worship his rounded visage by playing with sphere-like baseballs and golf balls. You might even say we make sacrifices on his behalf by spending a few dollars now and then at the Pari Mutual establishments as horses and dogs chase glory around an oval track. He checked the situation out and decided that this is the place to be. When most people think of Miami, they usually think of the sun and fun capital of the world. Yes, but mostly in terms of glamorous hotels, glittering night spots, the sandy beaches, and relaxing bathing in the Gulf Stream, warmed Atlantic Ocean. But there is so much more, starting right with the ocean. The next time you visit Miami, pack your water skis and fishing rod. And when you get tired of the wall-to-wall skiers fighting for that last slushy patch of what might be artificial snow on that alpine slope of yours, pack it up and give this a try. It's just as much fun, and even with the spills, you're certainly a lot less likely to break a leg. Someday, you might even want to try it this way. If you like it better on top of the water all the time and fishing is your way of relaxing, Miami has it always. Now, every day the sun watches anglers chase more than 600 varieties of fish that abound in the ocean, Biscayne Bay, canals, and lakes. If you want to stay on land, you can fish in the ocean and bay from piers and off many bridges. And there are enough experienced fishing captains around to give you a half or full day soaking up the sun and sea breeze while looking for sailfish and marlin. Many charter boats sail out of here from the Miami Marina, located right in downtown Miami. It's a great spot to tie up your own boat, providing everything you need. From its promenade, you've got a great view of the city and of the fleets. If you go for the excitement and variety of boat racing, Miami has it. The city of Miami's Marine Stadium is one of a kind, built especially for powerboat racing. It has hosted both inboard and outboard national championships, as well as unlimited hydroplane racing. The Marine Stadium doesn't leave anything out. This fantastic aquatic arena even hosts its own spring invitational intercollegiate rowing regatta and pram sailboat racing. For those who prefer the quieter but equally intense sport of sailboat racing, Miami hosts the second largest regatta in the country, initiated to commemorate a short trip made back in 1492. The Columbus Day Cruising Regatta draws over 200 boats every year. A lot of folks just like to sail, period. There's something totally and utterly relaxing about sailing through Biscayne Bay or out into the Atlantic, headed for absolutely nowhere in particular, away from everyone, where you can quietly soak up rays and worship the sun in your own way. Drop in a line and go for a swim. And as the shadows start to lengthen, head back to home base or put in at a secluded island of your own. Miami provides all sorts of ways to relax. The only reason the game of golf was invented was to provide a good excuse for taking a short walking tour of the Miami countryside. So pull your clubs out of retirement during the winter months and bring them with you to Miami. Be nice to them, and maybe they'll be nice to you. You can give one or several of our 39 courses a try. Golfing in Miami takes full advantage of the tropical setting, canals and lakes and plush fairways, immaculate greens, and, of course, sand. Make for challenging and interesting rounds of golf. You can play golf all year round and even around the clock on 4 specially lit night courses. Professional golfers have discovered South Florida, and an increasing number of tournaments are played here, ranging from the $150,000 Doral Eastern Open to the National Clergyman's Tournament at Lejeune, the city's own golf course. You know, there are all manners and ways of batting or hitting a ball around, and you'll find most of them in Miami. In a town that is constantly celebrating the sun, it's as if we make a cult of the sun's image. Here you can find all the tennis and volleyball you can handle. Shuffleboard has swept the area, and you can find a game at just about every hotel and in most of the city's parks. You can bowl indoors or out. Miami hosts a number of major bowling tournaments, including the annual Tournament of the Americas. The amateur championship of the entire Western Hemisphere. Miami even has baseball. There's plenty of the Corey League variety for the kids. And when northern stadiums are starting to think about how they'll thaw the turf out for the beginning of the season, the big league Baltimore Orioles are getting in shape in Miami Stadium for their run at the pennant. Always a contender, the Orioles play host in Miami to the best in competition from both leagues. When Grapefruit League competition ends, our own Miami Orioles take over and compete in the Florida State League for the Governor's Cup. Well, if baseball is just a mite too slow for you, and you're a betting man, then Miami has one of the most intriguing ball games in the world. That's Jai-Alai. Jai-Alai is said to be both the fastest and most dangerous sport there is. It started in the vast provinces of France and Spain, and Florida is the only place you can see it played in the United States. The ball those guys are throwing is smaller than a baseball and harder than a golf ball. It bounces off walls of 12-inch thick solid granite at speeds of up to 150 miles an hour. Now, the rules are much like handball, with wicker baskets called cestas used to handle the ball. And if you don't think it takes nimble feet, quick reflexes, and tremendous stamina, you can try the game yourself at any of the amateur Jai-Alai frontons around town. Then you'll know why the professionals begin to play at age 10. An average game lasts about 10 minutes. Often furious volleys that galvanize the crowd last as long as 3 minutes. As an exciting spectator sport, there is really nothing quite like it. In to sport a highlight, you bet on men who pit their skill in pride against one another. For those who prefer to put their money on four-legged contenders, Miami has that too, just about all year long. Superb attractions symbolize the finest in winter and summer thoroughbred racing. At Hialeah, at Calder, and Gulfstream, the horses run practically all year round. It's at these tracks that the three-year-olds must prove their mettle, and the contenders for the Triple Crown are tested. Hialeah is really more than a racetrack. It's a sight worth seeing all by itself. And when the track isn't running, hundreds of thousands of tourists do see it. Royal, Poinciana, Hibiscus, or Bougainvillea, they're not just the names of stakes races. They're only three of the more than 95,000 plants that highlight the site. The sun just sits up there and watches the flamingo colony, the horses, and the people enjoying themselves. Summer racing is run at the new Calder Racecourse, where patrons can watch the thoroughbreds run the oval in air-conditioned comfort. A recent addition to the racing scene, the summer meet is here to stay with good horses, good purses, and just plain good racing. Now, when it comes to chasing around that oval track, the sun shines all day long in Miami. 4 dog tracks divide up the action and keep the greyhounds running 12 months a year. This night sport provides the same kind of thrill and excitement as does horse racing. Greyhounds and thoroughbreds, too, trained to run. And when that mechanical rabbit starts its sprint and the gates open and they're off and flying, they run because they love to run, because they want that rabbit, and each wants to be top dog. So you see, Miami has more than what you usually think of. Even the one place everybody knows about is more than what you probably think. This is the Orange Bowl, home of the National Football League Miami Dolphins, University of Miami Hurricanes, the Orange Blossom Classic, the North-South Shrine All-Star Football Game, several local high schools, and, of course, the Orange Bowl Classic. Miami is the sports capital of the world, and this is its heart. Each year, more than 1.3 million persons watch football live in this stadium. From August through December, football is the one thing on everybody's mind. And the city that plays host to visitors from all over the world is united in its support of the Miami Dolphins. They're one of the most successful and exciting young teams in the National Football League, with stars like Bob Greasy, Paul Warfield, Larry Zonka, Jim Kick, Larry Little, Mercury Morris. Their style is the essence of American football, the explosive combination of hard-hitting and perfect execution combined with the big play and a burning desire to win. This is a team that doesn't give up when it's down 21-3, but can come back and win. That had the stamina to win the longest football game ever played, and that knocked the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Colts out of the picture to put themselves into the Super Bowl by winning the AFC Championship. Accustomed to handling championship games. Every year on the evening of January 1st, the Orange Bowl Classic comes up with the finest bull match in the country. And frequently the outcome determines the national title. The pregame and the halftime shows during Orange Bowl games are legendary as triumphs of spectacle. No other sporting event in the world is played in the midst of such a dazzling setting. The Orange Bowl game is the football showpiece of the 21-day Orange Bowl Festival, which includes tennis, golf tournaments, a junior Orange Bowl schedule for the youngsters, and the King Orange Jamboree Parade. This stadium has seen a lot of great football moments, and even international-style soccer as the site for National Collegiate Athletic Association championships. Physical contact sports in Miami are not limited to the Orange Bowl. Dinner Key and Marine Stadium regularly feature the finest in boxing and wrestling. Yes, the celebration of the sun and the sports scene is just about what Miami is all about. All in all, is it any wonder that this is where you can find the sun? Here he can be seen, played under, relaxed under. You watch or participate in more sports here throughout the year than in any other city on earth? When you get that urge to follow the sun, remember that Miami is ready and waiting.
That's about it for this edition of Rewind. Just time to remind you that Rewind features historical film and video from the Lynn and Lewis Wolfson II Florida Moving Image Archives. To see more from the Wolfson Archives collections, visit our website, wolfsonarchives.org. You can search the archives catalog and watch video online. And be sure to connect to our YouTube channel, where you will find hundreds of carefully curated clips, or link to the Wolfson Archives Facebook page to keep up with our busy calendar of historical happenings. Until next time, I'm Rene Ramos. Thanks for watching.